Just like that, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. After going the unfortunate 15 and 17 over the past 2 weeks, 0 and 7 on the Thursday night football call, we are back with the 13-game slate for a fine Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Let's get cracking with the games. Let's not waste your time or mine. We start off with two undefeated teams in the Los Angeles Chargers going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. On this one, we are riding with the Steelers. Let's go Steel Curtain. Y'all better show up and show out. First of all, division opponent. We're not going to support the Chargers, even if they are 2-0 and they are finally, out of their old Chargerness. Plus, I think Herbert might kind of be hurt, and he's still iffy. Like, there's still no decision out on him. He's still questionable. If he does play, he's not 100%. Going up against that Steelers defense, you want to have your quarterback at 100%. He doesn't have any weapons to really throw it to. Just in case he threw the ball a little bit last week, does not mean he could throw. They played the Panthers. And yeah, we move on because both teams are run dependent and defense dependent, and I think Steelers is just better at both of those things at this moment. So we'll see how this goes down. For now, we are rolling with the Steelers. Talking about two undefeated teams, Texans going up to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. And on this one, we are rolling with the Texans as well. Danielle Hunter going back up to Minnesota. He's going to want some revenge for the way he was treated, I guess, or for not getting his money, for just having to leave Minnesota, period. Or he's just going to be more excited playing in front of those fans and just has that energy that could be infectious for the rest of his team. Or the rest of his team kind of plays for him. Either way, DeAndre Hunter, he does his thing. CJ Stroud. Alright, I've been calling you out. There has to be a sophomore slump somewhere down the line. But so far, you have not had it the 2 weeks that I called, and you better not have it this week. You better go ahead and get it. On the other side as well, Justin Jefferson, he kind of did limp off against the Niners. I know he's okay. He might be playing hurt and not injured. So we'll see how that goes on until Jordan Addison comes back. Darnold doesn't really have another adequate weapon, while Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I know Joe Mixon's out, so they might struggle to run the ball even more. But I think CJ Stroud does this thing, gets out of there with a dub. We move on next to the Eagles taking on the seemingly unstoppable Saints. And the Saints go marching down in New Orleans. The way that crowd gets after a team is actually winning and supporting their investment into the team, their energy into the team, their money and their time and everything into the team, they finally feel like a team is there to kind of, take them back to prominence. And I don't blame them. The way they control the trenches. The defense has always been phenomenal, even under Sean Payton, even if it is with Dennis Allen. Now that he's the full head coach, the main man, now he has an offense that's actually really functional, really fun to watch, and a defense that, does its job. And that's all you need, especially when you get into the playoffs. On the other side, the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know what is wrong with them. I mean, I know what's wrong with them, but I don't know how everything can go to shit so fast. Coming off a Super Bowl, they just needed a retool. I thought they did that for the most part last season coming into this season, but I guess the retooling still needs to keep on retooling. So on this one, we are rolling with the Saints, especially with the home field advantage. Next one, Broncos taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. At home, we're rolling with Baker because he's going to cook. See what I did there? Should have said he's going to bake. But we are rolling with Cook and talk about cooking. The Broncos have been getting cooked the past, 2 weeks. So do they come out of their show and something extraordinary happens? I say no. I think the Buccaneers control the trench. Vita Vea on the defensive line. You got Tristan Wirfs on the offensive line. You have your studs on both sides. They control your line. They control your tempo. compared to the Broncos, their offensive line is still iffy. Their defense as a whole doesn't really have anybody other than Pat Surtain anymore. Broncos still need a ways to go. The only question I do have is for the Buccaneers running game. It's still existent, but it's not prominent. And for them to be successful later on, it's going to have to be prominent. That's the only little question I have. The weapons that Baker has, he seems comfortable. He seems like he's back in Oklahoma, just back to his moxie, just doing his thing. Happy for my guy, except for that Rams loss. You should not have won that game, bro. While we move on, Packers taking on the Tennessee Titans. We are rolling with the Tennessee Titans. Why, you may ask? Because while they might be 0-2, both of those games were really close. Both of those games, pretty much, Will Levis threw it away. I think, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, what happens? Also, we saw what the Packers' only game plan is. Run the ball with Josh Jacobs. Guess what the Titans were really good at? Stopping the run. They got Jeffrey Simmons. They got Harold Landry. They got Danico Autry. They got a lot of people. On the other side as well, they got J.C. Latham and all those guys to kind of hold Kenny Clark and those guys at bay. Decent enough for the Titans to at least have an offense that moves around. But for the Packers, Jeff Hafley coming in as a defensive coordinator. I think Ty Smith, he would be so ecstatic right now just hearing me say that. The schemes that he's coming up with, the defense, they have continuity, so they're gelling a lot better. Rashawn Gary's still kind of getting slept on up there. That defense is going to be, pretty nice, but on this one, we are rolling with the Titans. Without Jordan Love, I just don't feel comfortable. Plus, who knows Malik Willis better than the Tennessee Titans? Giants taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. We are rolling with the Browns in this one. Why? After a disappointing week 1, they came back out week 2. They didn't win pretty, but they got the job done, and that's all that needs to happen. I think Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson are playing at a similar level right now. They're not good quarterbacks. They're absolutely not great quarterbacks. So it's going to go back to defense and run game. I think Giants really can't do anything on any phase of the game. We're rolling with the Browns on this one. Pretty simple as that. Next one, Chicago Bears taking on the Indianapolis Colts in the Loud House. And in this one, and I might, have a soft spot for Pat, but we are rolling with the Colts in this one. Why? Because the Bears have actually been pretty terrible in my opinion. They've squeaked by with a week 1 win with the Tennessee Titans, where it actually literally got thrown into you. Week 2, reality actually really set in. They can't really do anything on offense. They can't really block, run game, pass game, any game. Until all of that improves, we'll see what happens. Colts, however, that defense literally just got flamed by Josh Jacobs for, Packers as a whole for over 200 yards rushing. So they're going to want to, come back and respond better. I hope they do, because if not, Bears might take it, but I am rolling with the Colts in this one. Miami Dolphins taking up against Seattle Seahawks in the West Coast. That travel without Tua with the 12th man, gotta go with Seattle in this one. I think both wide receiving cores are really explosive, really fun to watch. If they did have Tua, I think this matchup would have actually been better as well. But Seattle actually does have the cornerbacks to go up against the receivers to at least slow them down in a sense of the Miami Dolphins with whoever's throwing them the ball rather than Geno Smith. So we got to roll with Geno on this one. Ravens, Cowboys, probably the most talked about game of the week. 0-2 on one end, 1-1 coming off a ass whooping by the Saints on the other. Gotta roll with the Ravens in this one. 0-2, they're on the road, defense carries. I think they just didn't finish the game against us last week. They're going to want to step on throats this week. Dallas has a history of getting ran over at their house. Last year with the Packers, this year already with the Saints. What difference does Derrick Henry and the Ravens make? Not a lot. Especially with Lamar Jackson, not a lot. So we got to roll with those guys. I think they get their run game back to par. They get their offense finally clicking. They just get it done somehow, some way. I don't see the Ravens going 0-3. Next one, Lions, Cardinals. Gotta roll with the Lions again. I think they have to go back to their identity, ground and pound, bite kneecaps. We are not throwing the ball 50 plus times, putting up literally every single godly amount of stat, and then going on to lose the game. We don't do that in Detroit, the new Detroit. So got to win this one. I think Cardinals are a very slept on team. Everybody used to think of them as an easy dub. That's not the case anymore. The defense comes flying around. The offense with Kyler Murray and Marv Harrison is coming along. Just be a little bit more patient, Cardinals fans. The Niners and the Rams era might be cracking. We don't know what the end result might be, but the cracking of the foundation is already happening while you're building your foundation. Just keep it going. Just keep supporting. And finally, Hutchinson against Paris Johnson. Excellent matchup for my people in the trenches. Next one, Sunday Night Football. Chiefs, Falcons. Gotta roll with the Chiefs. I mean, refs in their pocket and everything, but I don't want to go there. O-line, week 1 versus week 2 for the Falcons was night and day. Against the Eagles, they actually could pass block. They had some success. But this is Spags defense we're talking about. This is McDuffie, this is Reed, this is, who do you want, Tranquil, Bolton, and I haven't even mentioned Chris Jones there. All those defensive pieces, the way Spags is going to use them around, the way he's going to pressure Kirk, because I think he's still not ready under pressure with, or comfortable under pressure with his new team yet. So there's going to be a lot of pressure coming as if he might be a rookie quarterback. However, I think in this one, it's going to be the Kansas City offense that finally wakes up. Travis Kelce has not had the season that you would expect from him. He's going to wake up. I promise you. There's nobody on that end other than the safeties that can cover him. And the safeties can't cover him every play. Travis Kelce is going to have over 50 yards. Yes, I said wake up and I said 50 yards. That is going to be the difference. Next, I think Mahomes throws another pick. It will happen. He has already had 3 interceptions in the past 2 games. It's not usual for him. We're not used to seeing that from him. But I think that will happen. Jesse Bates, who's played in Cincinnati against Travis Kelce. That's another thing people forget to mention. Jesse Bates was there when Cincinnati beat the Chiefs. But Jesse Bates has not been there when the Chiefs have lost. Chiefs have lost to the Bengals. But people forget to mention that. But we move on. Then you get to Justin Simmons in the division with the Chiefs. Now I'm actually getting a little itchy on this one. Should we roll with the Falcons on this one? Should we roll with the Falcons on this one, guys? Am I waffling right now? No, I'm not. The weapons of the Falcons last week after calling out Darnell Mooney, I don't know if you watched my video, bro. It looked like you did because you woke up like a giant. But I still don't trust you guys enough. Gotta roll with the Chiefs in this one. Lastly, but never lastly, Raiders about to start a home game against the Panthers. Red Rifle coming in. But we're going to take this up easy. You see all black? It's a funeral. I'm sorry, Panthers. Bryce Young, your chances at the future, we just burned that down. You just benched him. Now we move on to Red Rifle. We'll see what he does. We're not over cocky. We're just confident we're going to do our thing. We're going to win. Run game's going to come back. Offense is going to click. And Man Max and Christian Wilkins are going to go crazy. That's all I got for you guys. I'm I'll catch you guys very soon. Love. Peace.